Welcome to the Moving to Denver podcast with your host, Hayley Bartlett, your Aussie agent. Welcome back to the Moving to Denver podcast. I took a short break. It is summer here and we are in full swing. I do have a 11-year-old, so he is home most of the time. He did spend a week at summer camp, but otherwise he is here with me and we juggle him over the summer, which sounds terrible, doesn't it? Juggling your children, but that's what happens. So I haven't been able to record my podcast consistently. So I took a little break. So we ended season 1 of the Moving to Denver podcast. And now we are on season 2. So in season 2, the focus is going to be more on Denver itself and getting a kind of understanding of how it works when you move here. I put a call out to friends and people that had moved here and asked them what kind of information they needed that they couldn't find when they were moving here. So those are the topics we're going to be addressing in season 2 of the Moving to Denver podcast. So for the most part, you're going to be just listening to my voice, and I'm sorry about that. I do have a couple of guest spots coming up further on. But for now, it's just going to be me kind of sharing my knowledge and sharing some advice from being a mum myself and navigating the school systems here in Denver when we moved here, and also from being a realtor and an understanding from my clients and friends and people in the area. So tackling schools today. We moved here right when my son started kindergarten, so we were right in the prime of starting school. We ended up at our neighborhood school, which didn't have the highest of ratings, but honestly, I've never myself have been one to worry about that. I do understand my clients that do worry about that, and I understand that there's children that have different needs and need specialized school care, so they need those options. But we went to our neighborhood school and my son stayed there from kindergarten to 5th, but we moved in that time period and I had to rearrange to be able to keep him in the school. So we're going to talk about how that could be an option. So number 1, we have different school districts across the Denver area. 2 of the most popular, we'll just cover those. Cherry Creek School District, which covers areas in Denver, Aurora, some parts of Centennial, and it's quite a popular school system. It's one of the most highly rated across the board with parents. The other one is Boulder Valley, so that's on the opposite side of Denver, and that's the Boulder area, of course, and it covers Boulder, Lafayette, Louisville, and parts of Broomfield. Now, you have to be careful with Broomfield because it's tricky. There's like 3 different school districts in there. And there are some towns like that across Denver where there are a few different school districts within the same town, city, or area. So those are 2 of the most popular school districts. We have, I don't know, countless school districts in the area, and parental opinion differs on the school districts. So I never like to go too much into that, but I'm always happy to offer information or let you know where you can go to get that information on certain school districts if you're looking in certain areas. So within these school districts, there's different options on schooling. For the most part, you can go to your neighborhood school. So there's boundary schools. So you can go to each school district and look at the boundary map and type in an address, and it will show you which school you are zoned to. So that's your first and foremost option. Now, if you're not happy with the school that your neighborhood is zoned into or your street, schools can even change within a neighborhood. So if you're not happy with the school that your street is zoned into, then you have some options here. And this is where it gets confusing for people moving here. I know, coming from Australia growing up, we just went to the school in the neighborhood or the school like in the neighborhood area. There wasn't like 1,000 different options that you could choose. And I know there's other states that are like that. I'm pretty sure when we lived in Illinois, it was like that. You just went to the neighborhood school. But here in Denver, there's different options. So you have your neighborhood school level. If you're not happy there, then your next choice would be choice option. Not every school district does choice, but most of them do. And what it means is if there's schools within the district that have space, they will open those up to choice options. So you can, how they say it, choice your child into a different school. Now, they're not always the highest marked schools. They're not always the schools with the best reputation. It depends on space that they have within the school. So they usually do this at a certain time of year. It's usually around December, January, where they'll let you know, okay, these are going to be the choice options for next year. And that is the time period that you have to apply for that school. So if you leave it too late or you're moving here right before school starts, those choice options get a whole lot slimmer because people have already taken spaces in that period, usually November, December, January, kind of when they open those choice options up. And then some school districts have a second round if they don't fill all the spaces. So you want to try and get in that period, in that choice period. If you are just moving to Denver and school's about to start, you may get lucky. They may still have spaces. It may only be in certain grades. But it's always definitely worth going to the school district site, and they'll list the choice schools and they'll list which are still available at this point. And it's also worth calling up the school and seeing if they have any places for out-of-boundary children, if that's really what you need. So we have our neighborhood schools or our boundary schools, we have our choice options, and then we have charter schools in the Denver area as well. So these charter schools tend to specialize in certain areas. So we have gifted and talented schools, and I know on the north side of Denver, we have a couple of these. Stargate is one of the most popular options, but I believe that they actually stopped with the testing requirement this year. So you used to have to test and have a certain IQ level to be able to get into the school. I believe that was stopped this year, and now they are using different methods to kind of decide if your child would be eligible or a good fit for the school. So sorry, I went off on a tangent there just because I know about that school, but that's kind of one option, gifted and talented. STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEAM schools are big in the charter realm. You also we have a school here, Global Village, that focuses on different languages. So you may learn all day in Mandarin or you may learn all day in Spanish. So if you want that full language immersion experience, then that might be a good option as a charter school. And then there are some, like we have one that's just the academy, and they just run a little differently to the public schools. So most of these charter schools are self-funded. Some of them do receive some money from the district, but many of them have kind of enough parental involvement to help with fundraising and to make enough money to somewhat self-support themselves. So that's our third option. So we have our neighborhood boundary schools. We have our choice. So within the school district, you could choice. And what I should say, actually, oh, hang on a minute. So that's choice. And then we have charter option. Now with choice and charter, you can come into those schools from out of district. So if you're in another district, it can be an option, but you are going to be put at the list last. So for those charter schools, I know they usually work with Family First, then it goes to a lottery. So you have to apply. And if you're in the first 100, then you get in. If not, then bad luck. And then out of district is last at the list. So if they still have spots to fill, then you may get lucky, but it can be tough to get into those schools, definitely. And then the fourth choice we have in the area are, of course, private schools. So I know we have some Catholic schools, Christian schools. I believe there's some Montessori schools, but they usually don't go very far in the grade levels. So there's some, different private school options too. And of course, they are going to cost you more than some of those previous options that I just discussed. So when you come to Colorado and you're moving to the Denver area and you start asking about schools on Facebook pages or city data, as you guys like to say, you're going to get bombarded with all kinds of opinions. Everybody has a different thought about the schools. Everybody has a different thought about the districts. Everybody has a different thought about whether charter schools are better than just your neighborhood school. Everybody's going to have a different opinion, and sometimes it can be so confusing, especially if you have no idea what people are talking about when they say you can choice into this school or you could go to this charter school. I've had plenty of clients move from out of state kind of look at me like, what are these people talking about? So hopefully discussing those has helped a little bit, help you kind of recognize that there are some different options that you can choose. My opinion on how to go about choosing a school is to, sorry, if you're watching on YouTube, then the camera kind of zoomed in and out. Yes, you can watch on YouTube. If you want to catch the videos, if you want to see my face with my voice, then you can find these on YouTube just by searching up, as my son would say, the Moving to Denver podcast, and my channel should come up with all kinds of videos about Denver on them. So back to the school. I think the best thing to do is start with your neighborhood school or start with your, boundary school and go walk through the school. If you can, when school's running, that's the best time to do it. You can see how the teachers teach. You can see how the school flows. And just go and do a walkthrough and take your kiddo with you and see if they feel comfortable and get a feeling for that. There's definitely advantages to having your child in their neighborhood school. I know my son, so I had said, so we moved to Denver, we put him in the boundary school, and then they opened up choice options right when we were moving out of that boundary. So we were able to choice him in and keep him in there from kindergarten to 5th grade. Sorry. Goodness, allergy season. We adored the teachers at his school, so we definitely wanted to keep him there. But when we decided to move more north of the Denver area, my son asked that we live somewhere where he could walk to school and go to school in the neighborhood. That was important to him. He was going into 6th grade. It was super important to him that he could walk to school, that he would have friends that go to school, in the neighborhood or close by. He's very social, so he needs that interaction. He loves going over to the rec center and seeing his friends, or, the next door neighbor goes to school with him, the same grade. So he loved that, and that was an important thing to him. So we wanted to kind of honor that as he got older and was making these choices for himself. It was important for us to honor that. So we did that. And once again, it wasn't the highest rated school in the area. I had some people tell me, oh, no, you shouldn't go to that school. Well, we just went with it, and he had a great year. He did good. He got into the Junior Honor Society. His teachers were great. And once again, we had a good experience. So I would always start there. Go and walk through the school, see how you feel, see what you think. If that's not going to work, then you go and explore the choice and charter options. But always tour the school. I think that's a super important move, to tour the school, get a feeling for what's going on, kind of understand how the school runs, how it works. If you can, talk to the principal, see if they are involved, if they're willing to have parental involvement, because I feel like that is super important, that parents are welcome to be involved at the school even through middle school. I think that's important. And just go with sometimes it's just going with your gut on a place. Go with your gut on what you think about that school. That school may get bashed on the mum board, but then you may put your kids in there and love it. Or the school may have a total popular opinion, but you put your child in there and it's just not a good fit for them. So go tour the school and really get a feel for what you think. And then go online and, if it's important to you, look at ratings and those kinds of things and ask questions about the school. So that is a quick rundown on how the school system works here in the Denver area. I hope it was helpful. I hope it's information that you can use when you move here. If you want to talk more about school options or want to talk more about the school districts, we have been in Adams 12 School District and now we're in St. Vrain Valley School District. And they both have their differences and they both have their pros and cons. And I'm kind of always happy to guide you to finding that information so that you can do your research for yourself. So if you have questions, you can contact me at Haley, Haley, at your, Y-O-U-R, I tried to pronounce my R there, Aussie, A-U-S-S-I-E, agent.com. And you can find my website, www.yourausieagent.com, and contact me through there as well. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. I love to help people moving here answer these questions. I love to talk about people, I love to talk with people that live here already about these options and get their thoughts and feelings on these things. So I hope this was a good episode to help you with your transition to moving to the Denver area. I look forward to speaking with you soon. And remember, I'm always here to help. www.yourausieagent.com. You can contact me through there. I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I will catch you again soon on the next episode of the Moving to Denver podcast. Have a wonderful day, month, and year, and let's chat soon. See ya.